Whenever you see both parties in the House agreeing with one another, you should be very, very concerned. It's Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. I'm Stuart Allister.
You may have seen that Donald Trump and others are opposing the legislation to force a divestment of TikTok or else ban it. Let's talk about it. Here's the thing. In the United States of America, we don't ban specific individuals or companies. We ban bad behaviors. If there are issues with forced data transfers to foreign governments, we need to ban forced data transfers to other governments, regardless of who the company is. If there's issues relating to kids using social media and getting addicted to content, we need to stop that for all forms of social media, reaching those young kids and stop them from getting addicted. But it's insane that a bunch of lobbyists for Facebook and US Silicon Valley companies are trying to just eliminate one competitor in the name of national security. Apply the same rules to everybody. Ban bad behaviors, not individuals or companies. That's un-American. We're not going to beat China by acting like China. Time for Republicans to get out of the past and move to the future.
Of course, that comes from TikTok. And I'm just curious, what do you think about that? And you know that Trump was ostensibly against banning TikTok. Now, it should concern you because, well, why in the world would Facebook want to get rid of TikTok? Why would Google and Silicon Valley want to get rid of TikTok? Is it possible that they are a competitor and a fierce competitor, and they want to, by any means necessary, remove that competition? Do you think that has anything to do with it? I don't know. I'm just asking you. So why do you think Trump is against banning it? I find that to be curious. I mean, given the fact that, come on. Any company that comes out of China is owned by China. Stop it. Stop it. That being said, who was the hardest on China? Donald Trump. But he doesn't want to ban TikTok? Huh. I wonder what's going on here. Because whenever there is bipartisan support, that makes my booty itch, and I don't like my booty itching. Something is amiss when these crooks started, agreeing with one another. Now, for those of you out there, well, Stu, bipartisanship is a good thing. It means that we can actually get things done. I don't think you're hearing me. So let me bring it a little closer to home. Do you know what bipartisan actually means? I mean, in practical terms. It means that Adam Schiff agrees with Lauren Boebert. That's bipartisanship. It means that Eric Swalwell is agreeing with, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Does that give you cause to pause? Now, I don't know that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert voted against it. I don't know. My guess is they voted to ban TikTok. But why in the world would Trump not want to ban it? I find that curious. And then, well, I'll tell you what, before we get to that, why don't you wreck that like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and press that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Check this out. This is from Newsweek. Gen Z loves Donald Trump more than any other age group. Now, I find that curious. Let's look a little deeper, shall we? Donald Trump has a higher approval rating among young adults than any other age demographic, according to a poll. A Harvard Caps Harris survey of more than 2,000 registered voters showed that 57% approved of the job the Republican did as president, with 41% saying they disapproved. When the results were broken down further, they show that almost 2/3, 64% of voters in Generation Z, or those aged 18 to 24, approved of Trump's job as president. The age range of this demographic means some of the respondents were children during Trump's time in office. Now, just stop and think about that. People who were kids during Trump's administration have a favorable opinion of Donald Trump. Now, what do we know about kids? Well, their life pretty much exists through the prism of mom and dad. And when mom and dad are doing well, everything is, well, everything. Christmas is a wonderful time. Oh, yeah, because, well, everybody's got money. Everybody's got a job. Everybody is happy. You see, that's what Gen Zs were seeing. They were experiencing Donald Trump through the prism of their parents. They want to go back to that. Can you not see that? So I'll tell you what, for those of you who are, you don't believe that there is a connection. What about this? From Google. Gen Z, 60% of TikTok users are Gen Zers. Gen Zers are trendsetters. Next year, 74 million people in the US will be part of Gen Z, which will make it the largest generation of all. I wonder if we start putting two and two together, that Gen Zers are actually favoring Donald Trump. Overwhelmingly on TikTok, there are Gen Zers, and they're coming away with a positive view of Donald Trump. And then the machine in Washington, D.C. wants to get rid of TikTok, ban it. Donald Trump doesn't want to ban it. What the heck is going on here? Now, I know what some of you were thinking. Stu, any company that comes out of China is owned by China. You are absolutely right. And I make no bones about it. By the way, for full disclosure, I have about 80,000 followers on TikTok. I am not monetized, so it's not like I got a dog in this fight. But that being said, it is curious to me when there's bipartisan support to get rid of something. There's no bipartisan support to get rid of homelessness. There's no bipartisan support to help veterans. There's no bipartisan support to close even the border. Ooh, but you got bipartisan support when it comes to getting rid of TikTok. Now, I find that curious. Is there something else going on here? If you think for a second, because I can see you, particularly you in the back row, you're thinking, well, Stu, I read the bill, and I know for a fact. Do you now? What if the people who want to get rid of TikTok are TikTok's competitors, namely Facebook and Google and Silicon Valley. What if they want a monopoly? Not on data transfer, but on election interference. Oh, you don't want to talk about that, do you, Facebook? Yeah, the hundreds of thousands of dollars that Mark Zuckerberg and his wife donates to Democrats, the meetings they all had with Barack Hussein Obama. Then you don't want to talk about election interference. You don't want to talk about that, do you, Google, when we start talking about algorithms and searches and all that kind of stuff, where it leans so hard to the left, you walk with a limp, Google. So, color me a skeptic. I'm not buying it. I don't buy all the, oh, it's a national security issue. Is it now? Is it? It's now a national security issue. Okay. Well, let's just make sure. I mean, if that's were actually the case, why do you have to get rid of a 13-year-old on TikTok, or a 15-year-old on TikTok, or a 21-year-old on TikTok? If it's a national security where you have, I don't know, teenagers from high schools competing with one another who can do the most, TikToks or whatever, is that a national security issue? If there's a real national security issue, why don't you just, ban it from government participation? I'm just saying, their solution is not what you think it is. What you know about your government, have they ever been upfront and honest with you? So I'm just giving you food for thought. It's curious to me that Gen Zers favored Donald Trump. It's even more curious that they want to get rid of TikTok. And also, hang on a second, because I got to show you this as well, because after all, this matters. However, the results could be yet another warning sign for President Joe Biden's re-election hopes. In 2020, young voters were crucial to Biden's victory, as Generation Z and millennials supported Biden over Trump by margins of about 20% in the record. Record-breaking turnout according to an analysis by Pew Research Center. You mean Gen Z is not overwhelmingly for Joe Biden? You mean that Gen Zers are overwhelmingly using TikTok? You mean that the machine wants to get rid of TikTok because of national security? Really? I don't know. In 2020, young voters were crucial to Biden's victory. Crucial to his victory, as Generation Z and millennials supported Biden over Trump by a margin of about 20 points in the record-breaking turnout. Wonder if that has anything to do with this. Probably not, right? Because your government is always upfront and honest with you, aren't they? I mean, they wouldn't do something that would harm the GOP nominee, would they? No, of course not. I'm casting aspersions on a group of people who are upfront and honest about everything, and how dare I? How dare I? All right, that's it for now. Hey, if you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.